Good day, beloveds. We got cut off, obviously. Want to finish what I was saying. This is a picture I drew of the cycle of life. Okay. Now, we have the grave, the roots, the tree. Okay. We have what I was talking about, the composition of darkness and light. Okay. The sun provides food for the trees. And the trees actually help provide a mood and a frequency that we enjoy. You know, you go somewhere and there's lots of trees. They change the quality of the air, even the sound of the leaves blowing, or whether there is birds or not. During certain times of the year, the light, the trees will change colors, right? And that brings about a certain mood that is just, wow. So we're living and we get the information from the DNA. So we eat plants and stuff, okay? We're living and we're enjoying. Good day, beloved. We're enjoying what we're getting from the atmosphere that the trees help to sustain with us breathing, and in return we give them the carbon dioxide. They are stationary, and we hope and dream and live and walk, and it's symbiotic. We share a relationship with them, because when we go into the shadow realm, into the hidden realms, right, into that other space, they're already transcended into that space that we're unable to comprehend, right? We have a symbiotic relationship with nature, with the earth, with the terrain. And that is all a percentage of light, right? So we have the darkness. There was something I really wanted to tell you about this darkness. Okay, so we know about the mimicking, the bending of the personality and people's wills with the programming, with the educational system. So what is happening is we're the original, okay? There was an original culture that was whole, and that's why even when you dilute it, it pops up. You know what I'm saying? It's in the blood, just like you're a lot like your parents. So the original parent, made in his image, and we're dealing with light, different aspects of light. So what we're seeing is a copy, and then like the copycat, and the 9 lives, and the cat being the sacred animal of Kemet and the Egyptians. And we have the saying, the cat with 9 lives. And then they're synonymous with cats that are kind of like in a realm in between the two realms, they say, and how cats can steal the breath of babies and people in the night. You know, those kind of sayings and equations to cats, right? So there is a gateway that is synonymous with cats, you know, the copycat, traveling. And then even if you look at taking our sciences and stuff, right, from back then and using it against us now without us being hip to it, it's abridged into the past. It's kind of like a time travel kind of thing, because we have to reach into the past to even understand ourselves and retrieve it in order to figure out what it is they're doing here in the now. So we were seeing ourselves forever depicted as demons, as degradation and darkness. We're seeing different phases of the moon. You don't feel 100%. You don't feel like your full self. Are you a crescent? Are you a quarter? Are you half? Are you in the moon part of yourself, the shadow, right? The darkness, the ignorance, the unseen, the void. Are you thirsty? Our ancestors live within us. That's the part where I got cut off. The horde. What? In the movie Glass, the character Glass had the horde inside of him. He was a fragmented personality. The government takes people, and in order to use them for their MK programs, they fracture them. The movie Sybil came out years ago with that crazy woman. They literally watch damaged people, or use situation. They use the energy to their advantage in these situations. These spirits are demonic presences. Energy never dies, it only transforms itself. And when the Vatican does exorcisms, they don't like to do them. From my research, this is what I learned. The reason why is because that spirit leaves that body, that carbon being, and it goes somewhere else to be. And so it's literally you're sacrificing one person for another, because when it leaves there, it's going somewhere else. Did they figure out how to do the Ghostbusters thing? So there's things that are being left out and encapsulate it and something, because they have paper balls. You could ask Santo Spinacci, who does astrology. Tropical astrology, and he'll tell you through synchronicity how the Vatican has been controlling spirits. One way to control spirits is by way of information, so that you can't make a decision and you're left in the dark. That keeps you in ignorance, and that's what makes the nigga, because nigga means ignorant. So anybody can be one. And we have a large portion of us in the population behave like niggas because information was withheld. And that's technology. That wasn't due to something that we would have chosen. That was chosen for us. And so that's infringing upon free will. And see how energy never dies, it only transforms, and energy is real, even when people try to claim it as not, and try to claim it as their own, when they're only funneling it through these organizations. They organize thought They organize energy and funnel it into the spaces where they want to, and it's a science. It's a composition. And so these demons are picked up by the populace. Anybody who doesn't know what they're doing is totally unprepared for the way that they're feeling. And we've been taught that this stuff is a normal part. They give it names and labels like Jeffrey Dahmer. They give it names like serial killers and the 7 deadly sins. Anybody who's fallen under that kind of stuff. They give us movies and situations in it where, okay, it's normal just to walk around with this kind of baggage on you. We're accepting these spirits and opening ourselves up to them after they knock them out of somebody else. This horde, this legion, these spirits need somewhere to go. Read Solomon. Read the book, the Emerald Tablets, and check out Thor. They have different ways that you can glean what I'm saying about the spiritual energy. That it doesn't die. When you're gone, you're not just gone. There's an essence inside of you. That's what the real you is, inside of this carbon being. The real you is comprised of the frequency, the vibrational frequencies, the essence of fire, water, earth, air, and ether. All of those components live inside, and so we're born with this force in us. You know what I'm saying? Fighting and struggling against itself. That's the wheel that makes us turn. It's what makes us who we are. And so instead of us discovering things within the power within ourselves, the essence of the Creator, discovering ourselves and feeding that information and having a symbiotic relationship with the Creator, right? And letting the earth purge us, you know what I'm saying, making certain other choices with these energies. We're taking it on, and we got it inside us instead of sending that ish back. No thank you, I don't want it. The Girl Scout knocks on the door. No, I don't want any cookies today. The Jehovah Witness. No, I don't want any until we just look through the door. I'm not even going to answer it. I know what it is. I don't want it. What are they trying to sell you today? Is it getting in the way of the sun, of the rays, of the light, of the information, of you being illuminated, of substance, of nurturing, of you being able to weigh out things and make a decision? Does it have your free will gone? Is it blinding you? Or is it sustaining? That's how we can tell if what we're doing is full of it or not. If it's not leading toward anything that's nurturing, then something else is going on. You know what I'm saying? And we go to school and it's not teaching you to be El Fabuloso and to change things. It's being taught to enjoy and to love war, to be infatuated with people that were hateful, that were confused about so many things. Darwinism, you know, sacred dance, the foundations of so many things. Too proud to stop the ignorance, too proud to stop feeding us garbage. So within the same classroom, see, that's where it's fabulous. See, energy never dies, it only transforms. And then within this Taurus field, you fed too much garbage to the wrong folks. The times and the tides have changed. and we've choked on it, and we've regurgitated, we've upchucked it. The mama bird upchucked it to the little baby birds. And so we have a changing of the energy, a changing of the guard. Thank goodness that we're born at this time where we get to see this. What? Oh my gosh. I don't know how many different life forms are want to watch this. You know how you want to see that movie? You just know it's going to be good. This is real. And we're real. And the stage is set. And we're the characters here on earth. Discovering ourselves. The curtain is opening. The veil is opening. See, it was closed. You know? And now it's opening. It's about to go down. The music is playing. Can you see the theater? Even the whole design of the theater. And the design of churches is set up to be able to trigger something within our minds. It's the way that energy flows. And it triggers something in us. So we're waking up to our sciences. For instance, you know, the way Washington, D.C. is built. The capstone. Is it America? Why is everybody following us? No matter how retarded we get. Like they're under a spell. Everybody wants Levi's. Why are we eating so much Chinese food? Where is the other food? Why is it? My brain just goes somewhere. Forget about that. Let's stay on this. It's all apples and oranges. So this demonic presence, even Legion, has variations. When you study Jesus, Jesus, Horus, Pan, goes by other names that are morph to different names, and the story changes a tad. The symbolism they use is basically the same, so you can track it. The sun is the sun. It hurts us to take the scales off our eyes and see the truth. We want things to be normalized and comfortable. All cozy, where somebody told us what to think. That was safe. Or was it? What are we breathing chemtrails for if it was so safe? Why is the water messed up? Why is the planet crying? Why are we crying unnecessarily? Why are they choking on their own bile? They're so addicted to the luge and the adrenochrome. And being able to snatch bodies whenever they want to, and just like take away their worth. And take away anybody else's ability to say anything. I know what that you know, that lamb feels like in the corral, or that mother feels like when the cow when they take her calf. All these people, when you can see and you see all this stuff going on, people just getting snatched up and taken to the beast, to the horde, who shows itself in various ways, just snatching us up and using us for food and vessels to carry around these low-grade frequencies. And only time will tell, only Earth knows, right? I'm trying to figure out how much I want to go into of the different dimensions today. But I think I want to stay with this darkness. You know, how we looked at Legion. You know, you can have a legion of angels. You can have a crew of people that mean to do to be to intercede for the things that are being counterproductive. Or you could just have a whole group, a horde of things, eating and feasting and thirsty and hungry. All those 7 deadly sins, they say, all those things that I noticed in myself when I partake in something that I feel would go against productivity of what my Creator will want from me, it's all due to some kind of hunger or greed or desire, a hole, a space, a fire, an empty space that needs to be filled. And that's why our ancestors gave offerings to spirits, to ancestors, and temples. They gave offerings to feed a fire, to nurture. They gave food and drink to spirits. Bobby Hemmett taught us about always giving offerings and thanks. In many cultures, it's known they have altars and ways to give thanks. In Christianity, this is my body, right? The bread and the wine and the altars. There's symbolism that's used. We are an altar. Are you a sacrifice? And if so, for what? The different aspects and attributes of light and darkness. Are acknowledging those things that are hard for us to want to look at. The light gets in our eye. We want to just see some butterflies and sunflowers. Parched. Thirsty for only seeing that. So we run after it instead of letting ourselves be subdued and the Creator and the fact that both of those things, light and dark, exist. So you're not chasing after one and denying the other. That gives space and precedent for these demons to come in and cover the lie that we want to tell to ourselves. And that's the kind of stuff that's being utilized that we don't want to see, or we couldn't see because our eyes weren't open. A lot of this we're coming out of because of the planetary alignments. It's like a key, a porthole to energies, and because people have played themselves in this game we called life. They play their hand. We see their cards. Excuse me. And it's just time. Many of us learned our lesson, our karmic, cosmic lessons. We're seeing the way the energy flows, taking an interest. If we don't take an interest, we can't get the info. If it's not in us, it ain't gonna flow to us, right? To counteract the horde, the various different snares that are out here, willing to take advantage of our naiveness, our ignorance, our niggerdom, niggerdom. Wisdom. Now we have wisdom instead of the niggerdom, huh? Naga. Letting the desires and the kundalini fires, right? The sexual energy, the desires of ourselves travel up through those chakras, getting to know ourselves, getting to know you, getting to know all about you as a whole, as a zodiac, as a people, as ourselves, looking at what is actually there and not being afraid, past and present, so that we can go into our future. It is what it is. My casa, su casa. Just another butthole if we want to try to mold what is into something else because we don't want to see it. It ain't going nowhere. They did everything to make us eat that, and we did. But now do you see those characters that we're looking at? Those are the demons that they want us to eat, that they're really full of. And if we partake in the body, it'll be in the blood and poison us. They can't get it in one way, they put it in another and poison the earth and put it in the air with nanobots. So we have nanotechnology. We can puppeteer you this way. Because this is Thriller. Okay. Thrill her. Thrill her. This is Sparta. It's like entertainment. Entertainment. I don't know. I was having an Earth minute. Like, if she's alive and feeling and they're trying to entertain, living, you know. It is living through us. Our Creator is living through us. Our ancestors are also in this vehicle. And that's part of the, you know, part of the purging and the cleansing and the realizing and stuff. It's like, okay, there's more than one consciousness inside this body. Wake up. It said fire, water, earth, air, and ether. We're polarized, only paying attention to one aspect. And those are the ones that they told us about that have their seal of approval. Meanwhile, the Fire Nation came. The Horde. And we've been eating. Oh my gosh, where'd they put in this? I'm so hungry. It's so delicious. What is it? It's addicting. What's in here? Why they put in this stuff? My gosh, it's so delicious. They brought it to its peak performance. Yeah. The level of PR resistance had scientists make you want to come back for the cigarette, for the cheese doodles, for the Dunkin' Donuts. Part of it is the awareness, so that I know it's severing the connection some. I know if I go get a coffee, I'm taking a responsibility. I'm no longer just drawn there by the nanobots. There's a level of awareness, and yes, there's different levels that need to happen to sever completely. You don't have a coffee every day. You may not have one every month. Maybe you'll learn to cut it out completely. You know what coffee does to the nervous system. You decide that you really don't need it, and you grow up and you walk away from it altogether. Or you decide that, you know what, I'm just the type of girl that wants to have a coffee once in a while, even though I know that it's naughty. You know what I'm saying? I'm aware that I'm the type of person that wants to have the coffee once in a while. And that's accepting accountability and a level of awareness. You're not putting that on nobody else. It's zinging the power out of some of that. And so that's part of the ways that self-evaluation and meditation and paying attention to the shadowy aspects of self when it comes to desires, what we want and why, and how it plays out, the different ways that it plays out. We can use these glimpses of nature as we did in the ancient past when we made karate. And saw push hands, saw qigong, and a way to use, to transcend the darkness, okay? Because it's hungry and snapping at the bit. It's out of control. That's the nature of this energy. It's very powerful and raw. Hunger, desire. To die for a mi amor. That space where things are created and things are uncreated. And it's not uncreated, it just went into another space, so it's actually created. Poof, Abracadabra. It disappears here and slides into somewhere else. How do you know that you didn't disappear on one realm and appear on another one? Especially if we're tuned into the aspects that they told us to be tuned into. Well, you look at the movies and your butt is not even there in the future. The ratio is like 1 to 10, 1 to 100. To 100 white people I see in a sci-fi futuristic movie, you might see 1 black folk. To 1,000 people in the movie. I mean, what are they trying to say? When the images are flipped from upside down to right side up, and then my feelers go out to try to figure out what it is that I'm reading. What are my senses telling me? Is this a good situation or not? We read things on so many different levels of interface. We interface on so many different levels. Through touch, just through standing in the room, goosebumps, or a happy feeling. Yeah? The shadow attributes of it, that cold, it's all alchemy, you know. On a cold day, if you're in a space that has shade, it goes right to your bones. You're not appreciating that. It will tell you everything about yourself, where your weak points are, because those are the spaces in your body that are going to be like, hey, you need some shields. You need some warmth. You need some heat. But if the sun's not out, right, that heat is not coming from that aspect of the sun. It's coming from another source. But it's still a heat source. But we're equating the heat source with light. Light as in something that you want to utilize that is good. Light good. Darkness bad. Situational. The sun is actually cold. It's a photon heat. It's not hot. We're feeling the heat through our senses, through the way that we interact with this plasma being. So what I'm saying is that there's so many different attributes and aspects to these frequencies, and it gets broke down like the rays and like shadow, like the moon phases to rays, right? So there is a part 1 to this because I got cut off. And yeah, I'm gonna end it. Yeah, the shadow, attributes of the shadow would be dark world, underworld, gateways, the 9 lives, right? The elusiveness, right? The metaphors, even like with the cats and stuff, travel, the 9, and the cat being the sacred animal. Nothing is what it seems. We're a symbol. One body is a fractal, is a symbol of the earth, of the world, right? I'm just going to leave it there for now. As we get rid of the elusiveness and stop being so afraid of, I mean, because it's weird, right? If I'm not afraid to wear the infraction, why am I afraid to look at the freaking infraction? Because it's not like somebody else can't see it's there. If the attributes of this infraction is that it seeps through my very existence and I become a butthole because I don't want to admit that I have some shadow. I got some ish on my I got some ish in my stuff. Some stuff on my shoe. I don't want to rub it on you. You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean about being the next best person standing next to my brother or sister, is realizing that all is self, realizing that I have ish with self, and acknowledging where I am with that. You know what I'm saying? Some people are fine where they are once they realize where they are and they compare it to the rest of the globe. They're like, hey, yeah, I got this, but I'm cool with it though. I can work with it though. I'm not going to work with that, and I'm going to enhance all this other stuff. You have a choice in the way that you want to mix your stuff. Especially once we realize that it's our stuff. All of it. Darkness and light. All attributes. But the cloak, the shield, the attributes of technology and illumination, all coming from us, all attributes of us, all able to use it as an advantage or a disadvantage. That's the classroom. Only it's even Steven, because now you know. And those are the attributes that I want to talk about today in Regina's Rabbit Hole. Siren Buddha Medicine, your sister, your friend, your girl, pulling down the messages from the ether, doing as I was told. Much love to you and yours. This is Siren Buddha Medicine. This was Talk Therapy. And thank you for being with me. You can join me on the YouTube at Regina's Rabbit Hole. Feel free to like, subscribe, and share. We're a lot more connected into this healing thing than we realize. I'm out.